Willkommen auf der Nordschleife.
Oh boy, it's at night. This is a free practice. No wrecking, please. Okay. All right, let's see what we can do here. Nighttime. Perfect. So we're gonna do a little record sesh here. And as I get situated, turn that down. Missed the turn already. Whoop. Didn't really talk a lot during this event. So a little bit of voiceover over the correlation of driving in the darkness, call it. And like I said previously, I had a couple laps in. I think I did 4, maybe 1 clean lap prior to this, just to practice. So slowly easing into what I wanted to do here. And just watching me go through here. Still a little bit slow, but faster than the first iteration that you guys saw, which was extremely slow. And getting a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, this GP course I've probably done 30 races on, except when I go off the track, like I do right here. Mr. Jimenez decides to pass me, but it's a practice, so I don't know what I'm doing. Didn't know what I was doing, but holding it together and ripping down the section here with a little chicane. I learned later that I could take this in 3rd gear, but I'm a noob, so I decided to take it in 2nd. That guy split off to the right. And again, getting used to this course, not really understanding what that meant. The reason why you go back around is you can basically get a hot lap without having to do the whole course. So, timing here, you're seeing 2 minutes and 44 seconds at this point. If I had gone around again, I'd start the clock, and that'd be a full lap time. So, can't really correlate what I'm actually doing from a productive lap time here, but we'll get there eventually. And driving at night is certainly a challenge. This section's not too bad. There's some lights, there's some neon, there's some ravers doing whatever the hell they're doing over there, so it's not too bad, but you get into the darkness. Into the darkness. Yeah, just as I said, getting into the darkness or something like that. Into the woods gets a little shady. And we'll find out that pretty quickly here. It's not the easiest, especially when you don't know the track very well, to be doing it at night. So, anyways, bombing down here. This section is one of my favorites. I've come to like this very much. Still braking down to 5th gear. Again, the more I learn, the more that I recognize I can take that in 6th, down to 2nd around this pin. And another gravel. So, screw it. There is a guy behind me, but I think he has a little bit of issue around that corner. I see the headlights drifting off, and I appear to be pulling away from him, so whatever, screw him. And another favorite section here, up to this low downforce area, into a braking zone, and then braking to the right, and there's that guy behind us. So didn't take it very well, but we're getting better. That's what matters. I'm doing a little grumbling over here, so see what I have to say. Whew. Looked like a woo or something. I don't know. So, 4 minutes in, it's really about 2.5 minutes into the lap. Coming around the neon ravers. Guy's still behind me, but he's not pressing it. I'm not going extremely slow. So we'll just see how long we can stay in front of them. I'm really not going to block them off if I had a chance to. It didn't really matter. It's practice. So coming around these bumps, hitting those curves, if you hit one of those the wrong way, let me tell you, it's not pretty what happens. And I got a couple more words I want to say here in the live section.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's probably why.
That was ridiculous.
Hitting that curve, getting sideways. I think I did a 360, so smashed up my windshield a little bit. Bounced off the wall again here, so
my lights are flickering.
and as you can see, going over bumps or applying the brakes hard, my lights flash. How pleasant. A little bit of realism in the damage here. I'm assuming some wiring got messed up here, so driving in Nordschleife in the middle of the night, you press on the brakes too hard, you can't see where you're going. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that situation through that turn and the 360 crash. So yeah, the first time I went around the track, I only had a couple of minor accidents. At night, significantly different, causing some situations that are dangerous. And something else is coming up here. Not sure what this one was.
This is ridiculous.
I think I'm just laughing. And the ravers are out. They got their laser beams going here. This corner leads into the carousel. So a lot of people hang out around here and watch people take that turn leading up to the carousel with my lights flashing on and off. So didn't really hang on to the carousel. Kind of got pooped out the other side into the wall again. So laser beams and all. First lap that night. I think they could. We could take this one back and flash some more. It was good practice though. If you can figure out the track at night and hit some of your apexes, even though you don't necessarily see them until the last second, makes a difference, right? It gets practice in. Start to memorize it more from the scenery than the actual track ahead. So I got to admit, I do use that legend on the top left quite a bit. Still, I'm getting better at remembering the track, so at some point I won't have to use that anymore. But definitely, you could probably see it in some of these videos. My eyes keep darting off to the left, and I'm looking at that legend to see where I am on the track to see what's coming up next. So into the woods here.
Come on.
And for whatever reason, missed that turn completely. So, get a little dust cloud kicking up here in a second. There it is. And I decided to restart.
I was driving with half a headlight. That was rough, to say the least. Let's try it again.
So we shake it off and we get back down the track, looking some faces. And looks like that first turn, I gotta tell you, my setup mustn't be correct for it, but I don't think you really want it to be set up just for that one corner. You have to take that at about 30 miles an hour, and I almost miss the edges of the track every time around there. It's really difficult. I think it's off angle. You don't have downforce. You're going slow, and it just makes it difficult to make the turn. So down through the GP here. Still driving a little bit slow. I'm not sure if I'm just uncomfortable or what it was. I think this it was pretty late at night. It wasn't 3:10 a.m. obviously, but I think this was later on in the evening. I was getting a little tired. I just wanted to get this over with and get some recording for part 2 of the Nordschleife that we're doing here. So, yeah. I did notice that my brake bias was 57. If you recall, part 1, I think I had that down to 52, then I brought it up to 53 or so. So, definitely some differences. I think I was a little bit too squirrely on part 1, so I tried to numb it up a little bit. And I probably went too far going down to 57. Again, remember this split. Right, you get a hot lap. Left, you just go back into the woods. So I said, screw it. We're going back in. I didn't necessarily care about the lap time. It's like 10 minutes from the previous crash, so screw it. Let's get into this section. This is becoming one of my favorites. There's a couple of sections that I really enjoy, but this one you can take a lot faster than I have been, bumping walls, but it's pretty quick and fun. Jumping over curbs. Into the darkness. As you can tell, I'm getting pretty excited about the challenging sections. And just zooming in on the timeline here so I can see what's coming up when I'm going to be talking, so I don't talk over myself. I don't think anybody would want to hear that. I certainly don't. So down this back section again, remember I talked about being able to take this turn, just letting off the gas in 6th. I think I still downshift to 5th, yep. Again, probably 3 or 4 more laps into this, I started to realize that I could take that almost wide open. And makes this corner a little bit more challenging when you're doing about 160-ish miles an hour and getting down to 65 to make that turn. So another fun section, really fast, switching directions. The force feedback around this section is nuts. Up the hill, remember, then take that left. Really hard corner again with minimal downforce to slow down and make that turn. So this one kind of stinks, doing 50 miles an hour. I'm very tentative around that second part of it because you goose that gas too quickly, rear end spins out almost immediately. So I've been pretty ginger on that. Probably have a couple of seconds lost there because I'm going so slow. Into this left-hander and then a right. And getting a little bit more confident. Making a lot of faces. I think the steering wheel is, I'm starting to realize it now, that it's a little bit small. I think it's a 12 or 13 inch or so. I don't necessarily want to change the wheel, but I'm noticing that it's not that comfortable when I do longer races. You know, anything more than 25 or 30 minutes, I'm starting to feel like driving a go-kart. So we'll see if, I'm not sure if this wheel has any, upgrades or things that you can just take this one off and put another one on, but we'll keep looking into that. Enough talking about the wheel. Back towards the this little straightaway, you can see that cone of light is pretty good when it's dark. The neon areas, it gets more difficult, honestly, to see. So in the complete darkness in the middle of the woods, I actually prefer it. So we come through another fast section here. Ripping into 6th. Still braking too early on this one too. It's a little bit deceiving. This part and then the slight left. Really don't need to slow down much there. I probably, even this corner I could take in 5th gear. So I probably lost 40 miles an hour there that I could still maintain. But jumping all over the curbs and into the Rave Central area here just before the carousel. Popping out. Carousel.
such a hard corner to stay on.
I'm gonna hang on this time. Didn't get kicked out of the carousel, so that's pretty hard to do too. Basically, one of your tires is down in a ditch and the other one is, 45 degrees up. It's very unnerving is the word that I'd use on driving around there. You're just gonna get through it. Don't go too fast. Definitely a second gear corner through that first carousel. So some chatter going on there. Didn't really read any of that crap. Don't care. Just trying to maintain consistency. Take a rip down through the chalk-laden section of the track here. I wonder what some of these things say. If it's all in German, if there's any Ruski or Polski stuff in there. These times I'm going to pause and just look to see what it says. If there's anything interesting. I see a couple of flags there. It looks like a Finnish flag. That's kind of neat. Down through this corner here, then a right. This section's pretty hard. It's a lot of off-camber turns. You get a little sideways. There's the airborne section, if you remember from part 1. Did a couple of replay views in there. You probably get 3 or 4 feet off the ground if you get good speed there. And then it's a hard braking zone. It's pretty interesting. Down through these multiple S-turns. And looks like somebody crashed ahead of me, so just trying to be aware. Lap's pretty clean so far. I don't think maybe I ended up in the grass once or twice, but nothing too severe, so I'm trying to keep it clean. Second carousel, much easier, not as steep. Getting out of there, a couple turns before the long straight, and onto the start-finish line here. So pretty good rip. And we're gonna keep going down here. Woo! Got out of the woods. I was pretty excited to get out of the woods. And can take a little bit of a relaxing cruise at 165 miles an hour down this back straightaway. Looking for animals running across, you never know. And I'm getting better at this section too, so we'll talk through this a little bit. Coming up the hill, don't really need to brake much here. I drop it down to 5th. You can take those 2 first turns pretty much wide open. It's this corner here, you gotta dump it down to 2nd to do that final S-curve. And down to the start-finish line, so not too bad. Wow. Pretty sure I had a clean lap there, so that was crazy. So we're gonna probably close this out here, but just wanted to talk about the differences night and day, and it's exactly that. I actually kind of preferred to go off in the first turn, but running this through at night, you're just more focused on short distance, and I don't know if it's probably not realistic in real life. Nighttime would be terrifying, but in this setting, you're just looking at the apexes. I don't look any further. I don't look. My focal distance is a lot closer, and I think that actually helped me. One, remember the track a little bit better. I was focusing more on where I needed to brake, getting out of a corner, those kinds of things. Actually made it better, so we'll probably cut this here. And I did record a 3rd session. I think it was this evening or the next night, maybe 2 nights later, where I put on the big boy pants and I did an online race that was actually competitive, not this practice crap, but yeah, it's been pretty fun, so we look forward to catching you on the next video, part 3 of the Nordschleife with the Porsche. So we will catch you later.